As always, this episode is brought to you by Draggin Bags. Bow, 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 bow. Air, mouth, rap horn. But anyways, Draggin Bags, dropping that heat daily. Head on over to dragginbags.com and see what they're cooking, man. Again, great stuff. Can't say enough about it. The new Charlie bag is a banger.
Yep.
Just full disclosure, break it in, okay?
We know it's full.
It's a full bag. Break it in, and it turns into butter, okay? Just hear my words. And do it the old-fashioned way, because there's nothing better than beating your sack. So head over to Draggin Bags, get yourself some new bags so you can beat that sack. Strap code BIGASP12 at checkout, and we'll save you money, because we're awesome. So again, that's dragginbags.com, code BIGASP12.
Welcome to the Big Ass Cornhole Show with Sean and Dane, the host you know, talking cornhole life and random fun. Grab a beer, let's get it done. From tossing bags to let's wild ride, tune in and join the party, don't you hide. It's the Big Ass Cornhole podcast time with Sean and Dane. It's always crime. With Sean is done.
All right, welcome back to the Big Ass Cornhole Podcast. Sean and Dane are with you as always. What's going on, man?
Not much. I didn't have the song queued up, and I was just like, you know what? We're rolling.
I saw you weren't like fiddling on the screen, so
keep
I
it
just
going.
assumed.
Yeah,
So
oh well.
just hop right in. But
Put it in post.
No one
that's
even
that's
would
what
have
we
known.
do.
no one
had any idea.
unless you're on Patreon, you're watching the
Patreon,
video.
sorry, folks, you
missed
didn't get to
Dane's
see me dance, so I'll
dance
just
move.
give you a
Wow.
little piece of it now, or
Wow.
you know, whoa, heyo.
That's wow. That's what people pay for.
Yeah,
right
just a
there.
little bit of sauce.
Wow.
There you
Holy
go.
Crap. All right. Busy episode. A lot of drama this week. Gotta love it.
Dude, it's
Fits right into our show. I
Cornhole,
love
you
it.
could tell that there was an open because all of a sudden Addicted to Cornhole flooded my feed.
Oh, just so easy. So we have a lot to get to. Dane, do you do best every single week? Let the folks know what we're drinking tonight in our favorite segment called What You Drinking.
What you drinking?
Not drinking anything tonight.
I know. Back to back weeks.
Just
suck for us.
yeah, just water.
But-
Again, I did some good drinking this weekend. So I do want to give a shout out. Deschutes fresh squeezed IPA. I've had it numerous times, but I feel like it gets lost in the sauce of really good IPAs out in this world.
Okay.
If you ever find it on draft, that's when it's at its peak.
Okay.
It's one of those rare IPAs that I actually enjoy more out on a draft than
Juicy
out of a can.
IPA or
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah, it's just fresh squeezed, baby. I mean, it's a delicious one. So
Cool.
just want to give a shout out to Shoots. Fresh squeezed IPA is a banger. If you ever see it, grab it.
This week we have more audio gold planned for you all. We're going to recap the results of the Open in West Monroe, Louisiana.
Louisiana.
Fast. We have updates for the best of the bag competition.
Man, do we ever.
We do. We had some dramatic readings,
Of course.
and obviously we'll get to all the cornhole drama and all the stuff behind the scenes. And then we are going to be joined by former ACL pro, one of our favorite dudes, Mr. Eric Tscherne.
Churn that butter.
Churn that butter. But before we get into all that, we're going to let you know what's going on in our lives in a segment we call In and Around the Hole.
Are you too good for your home? Answer me!
What'd you do?
Dude, it was
How was your weekend?
it's been a rough week.
You
Like,
did have a week.
No, man, so even since it was basically a week ago today,
Yeah.
I was dropping off all of our tax stuff.
Mhm.
I wake up in the morning and we look at our account, and our account was hit for like $2,800. I'm like, that's weird. And my wife's like, oh, it's from your student loan thing. I'm like, odd. I'll check it out.
Yeah.
Like, I was supposed to renew or something. Like, I couldn't remember. Like, when I got the alert, you get 12,000 emails a day.
Mhm.
But I'm like, all right, I'll check it out. And no big deal. It's my bad. One month. Well, I go on there, and apparently the day before they'd filed an injunction, stopping income-based payment plans, and put it all on pause.
Okay.
So my student loans went up a significant amount. So we're hoping that all gets fixed. So if you're hearing me, Congress, or
Yes.
whoever the fuck needs to flip the injunction, we need the stuff back, because I can't be.
Yeah, you're
spending
fucking the
them.
wrong people here
Yeah,
now.
yeah,
All
man.
right.
Oh, dude. Politics aside, it's just been bad. So left there, wasn't in a great mood. Then I drop off the tax stuff. That was fine enough. And then I'm leaving there, get pulled over for speeding.
Even
Going
better.
47 in a 35. And I even told the cop, if I was trying to speed, you would have known it. Like 47 in a 35 is not. And I was coasting down Pleasant Valley, right, in our area. Huge fucking hill.
Yeah, it's a big hill.
I wasn't trying to speed. I was literally, my foot was not even on the accelerator.
And that's something like if you're free and clear in front of you, it's almost safer to just kind of ride it out.
That's what I'm saying. Why? Yeah, that's
from
exactly.
time to time,
Dude,
you
I
know?
just got new tires on my car. I wasn't trying to like ride the brakes all the way down. You know what I mean? Like I was just coasting. I wasn't in danger to anyone. I wasn't swerving. So that was awesome.
I'm like, you're not the one that made the road that way.
Yeah.
So like, why is it your fault that you have to speed going? I mean, I go down Rockside Hill every morning.
Yeah.
People are bottoming out that thing at 58 and a 35
Yeah,
every
yeah,
morning,
correct.
and I've never seen anyone pulled over there.
No, that's what I'm saying. Like I wasn't trying to speed. Anyway, regardless.
Yes.
Get
We're getting
home.
off topic.
Put the kids to bed. Go to the gym. I'm like, I need to blow off some steam.
Yeah.
Like, good workout. Get a workout in. As I'm driving home, flat tire. Fuck me. The next day, I borrow mom's car, right? I'm like, like luckily she works from home. Borrow the car, get out to work. I'm busy as shit. I get a call at lunch from my son's daycare. They're like, hey, your son is absolutely losing his shit right now. And like, we have tried to calm him down for like over an hour. Like, you need to come pick him up. Great. So I had to call my boss. I'm like, I hate to do this. I had to reschedule all my patients and bump them to the next day. And yeah, it's been like a trail of this. Like every day he goes to daycare, we're getting calls that he's like losing his mind and stuff, and we don't know what the hell's going on. And it is getting to the point where like he's gonna get kicked out of daycare or something. And it's bananas. So it has not been like a super fun week.
So you just strap into a chair for 8 hours while you're at work, and then
I needed Friday night so bad. My wife and I both needed Friday night so bad, and I felt bad because like at first I told her, I'm like, if you want to drink, I'll drive. But like I get in a bar environment, bands playing,
Irish music playing.
Listen,
and
she told me, she's like, you need to stay. She's like, I'm going to take the kids home. And the kids were being good, but like it was just getting late. It was like 8:30 or so. She's like, I'm going to take the kids home. You should stay. Like, cause I think she just knew that like I was just at my wit's end, and it's just been a shitty, like 48 hours before that. So Friday night we went up to listen to New Barleycorn. They're the band. If you're a longtime fan of the show, we hired them for our mom's 60th birthday. Just two awesome, like authentic Scottish and Irish guys. Just playing like all the classics and stuff. So go up there, drink good Irish beer.
great guys.
Yeah, just good atmosphere. You know what I mean? Like, just good hang for a little bit.
Seeing them there though, because like that place wasn't as into it as the crowd usually is.
No, but like I mean, again, man, it's sad to say, but like his typical fan base is pretty old, and a lot of them are dying off. You know what I mean? Like it sounds crazy. I mean, like we've been fans of them. It's like more of a nostalgic thing. Like our grandparents love them, so like we've just as like an homage to kind of just keep going as a family, just to kind of keep seeing these guys, and it's a good time. And then Saturday, my daughter had like a play date.
Nice.
You don't want like little brother around for play date, with two girls. So like I'm like, me and Logan got out of the house, snuck away to parents' house, went back, and then Sunday like pretty much did nothing. I'm trying to remember.
Yeah,
we had dinner.
Nice
and
day
that
of
was pretty much it.
nothingness.
Yeah, it was just dinner and
did very much the same thing on Sunday. I had grand plans to like go hit a simulator and stuff, but I ended up just like doing stuff around here, like since it was somewhat decent. So,
yeah. It was colder than I wanted it to be.
Yeah.
Because like I was gonna go and do like all the like prep for summer, spring outside stuff. Because it seems
we're not
like
quite there yet.
Not quite, but like I could have got like
if we were home this weekend, it would have been a great time. But we won't be, so that's okay.
We won't be at all. Yeah. So that's pretty much my week. Is it can only go up, right?
Yes.
So I need this trip.
Mm-hmm.
So
yes,
Saturday we are heading down to Orlando, Florida, with our wives. And we're recording our next week's episode live from the Castle Pub. It's in downtown Orlando. It is owned by my former college roommate. If you happen to be listening to this and you're in the Orlando area and you're looking for a spot to party at for St. Patrick's Day weekend, you got to go to the Castle.
Yes.
It's as authentic as you can get to an Irish pub. Shane's literally from the motherland. He imported every piece of furniture, wood to build the place from Ireland directly.
Wood?
Yeah, everything. Like seriously, it's crazy. Like The bar is legit. Like it's a great feel. Like you get.
It reminds me of home.
So that was Scottish, but
No,
it was close. But it was good. It's fun. I'm really excited to go down there. We're gonna hit up Disney World 2 of the days, and then the other 2 days we're gonna be at an Irish pub all day. So it's not a bad trip for us.
Can't be bad. Not mad at it. Not mad at it.
And like our wives know, like we're there to like work those 2 days.
And full discretion or disclosure, our episode will probably be up Thursday morning next week instead of Wednesday.
Oh,
I'm
that's
not
true.
traveling
Oh,
with
that's true.
the computer and stuff. So I have an idea of maybe like we post it up on Facebook Live. I want to see how it might work out.
How can you get it to if you don't have a computer?
I'm working on it. If not Facebook Live, then at least record the video version of it too, and we can always just post that up on Facebook. So we'll figure it out. I'm thinking we have some nice lapel mics, and we can have these mics set up and dual record at the same time.
If we get the video version, like I can definitely put it up on.
Yeah, again, we'll work on it.
Okay.
So TBD. If it's up on Wednesday, then we figured it out. If not, then
Just follow our Facebook page
Just wait.
as always. We'll
Yeah.
keep you updated and a Patreon and stuff. We'll keep you updated. But should be a fun trip. We have we have a bunch of stuff to give away. If you have not checked out like our St. Patrick's Day shirts, like I'm so proud of like how they turned out.
yes,
Like they're awesome. It's play on words, right?
It is.
Kiss my asp. So
it's
yeah, support the boys.
Pogmo asp.
Yeah, if you're looking to rock out in style, get yours today. You go to jamapparel.net, right?
Yes,
jamapparel.net. You'll go big ass page.
it's right there. You'll see our little logo. Just click on it.
Or check our stories. I've been trying to post like a link to it every day in our stories, like on Facebook and Instagram and stuff like that. So.
Yeah, for sure. And honestly, like he makes good quality shirts too, and
Yeah.
I like wearing them.
Grab
So
yourself a Botgate shirt.
yeah, like
Ah.
come on, we're coming to the end here of this battle of the bag. So yeah,
For sure.
oh, what you got?
Sorry. Eric was just asking a question.
Tscherne, can't wait your turn, bud.
I know.
All right,
All right.
Cripes.
So what do you want to get? All right. So best of the bag stuff. Updates.
might as well.
Right
Perfect
now.
segue.
If you're listening to this right now, that means the finals, the championships are going on right now. What's your
Yeah.
early prediction?
Well, we've been saying it for a couple rounds. Like I think it's kind of brotherhoods to lose. If it comes down to ACL versus ACO, can an entire organization swoop in and take down another organization? We'll see. I mean,
Yeah.
that's really who's following this thing and who's going to put in the most votes.
I think that Swag's been very impressive. I mean, they took down BG,
Yeah.
which is tough, right? Now I will say, like, BG was like not outwardly promoting it this year,
Yeah.
right, which is fine. Like I get it.
I mean,
like,
Rich
in
threw
their-
up like a post like later on in the day, and so like it almost got them there.
Yeah,
like
no,
they were
I-
still almost able to pull it out.
Yeah, I completely get it, like where they're coming from. Like they've won it before. Like they don't need this contest to validate like where they're at, like in the standings. We know like they're very popular back
Yeah.
in the cornhole community. I do think that it was a little bit. There was a guy that made a comment on one of the posts, basically where I was like congratulating. I think it was the Final Four, and like somebody just randomly made a comment saying like just happy BG didn't make it, right? And you saw every bit of BG knob slobbing you could see. Like Jesus Christ. Like you would have thought that like every guy making a comment and then tagging Rich, like you would have thought that he was just gonna sign you for like a $50,000 contract
Like,
just
see,
because you
Rich?
tagged him in the post. Like
I got your back, bro.
yeah, like calm down. Like we get it. Like you guys do very well. If you really wanted to win, I'm sure you guys could have pulled it off. Whatever, great. But like
But you didn't.
don't act
So-
like you don't act like you don't care.
Yeah, but you also can't prove what didn't happen. So you're not in it any longer.
But you can't act like you don't care and then
Yeah.
comment like you care.
Exactly.
Yeah, I mean, like the guy made a harmless comment. All he said was like, just happy BG didn't make it.
Mm-hmm.
He didn't say anything about the players or anything like that. He lives in I think he's like a 724 dude, like in
Okay.
that area. So he just sees tons of BG and
Yeah.
he just doesn't want to see him win. I get that. He's cheering for the underdog. I don't think there was any malicious intent with that, but
I
some
would
people
hope
took
not.
it hard. Yeah.
In this game, malicious intent? No.
Right. But
Doesn't exist.
Other than that, really, so the other, unfortunately, Average Joe's, their run came to an end.
It did, man.
Super
Good run,
impressive.
though.
First year in the contest, they were like a 50-something seed. Like at very end, we were scrapping for teams to like kind of and companies to put in here.
Yeah.
and Average Joe's came up and they showed in and showed out. They had a very loyal, like, family kind of following behind them.
Well, they didn't offer up enough cannolis at the end to take a home
They did
shot.
not.
all
They
right?
did not. And apparently we were like spot on with that, by the way. I'm like, how could I not be? I mean, seriously, you read through the names of all the likes. It was hilarious. Like, seriously. But yeah, so they had a nice run, but the only ACO company right now is left is CBC.
Yes.
So you have the Ronin going against Swag. That to me was like, it's a toss up. It really was 50-50 because Swag is really performing well. Like the last 2 rounds have gotten like 1,600 votes. Like they're having a very solid performance. But now that everybody else is out of the ACO,
CBC's they're just going to get a nod from people that just want to see ACO take it down. So
here's my thing: is if they don't beat, like, if they can't beat Swag, then like they were never going to beat like a 1-on-1, right?
true. Yeah.
That kind of already like shows us like, okay, then there's 3 ACL companies. There's 1 ACO company right now. So overall popularity and at least like social media, like net growth.
Yeah.
It kind of shows you where they're at, which I think is probably about right.
That's kind of what I assume.
But super impressive. The other matchup is going to be close as well, is Brotherhood versus AAR. AAR was my dark horse going into this tournament. I just thought that they sponsored the right kind of people to like get a following and just to make a 1-year run kind of thing.
And they've just been growing quietly. And like now we're, like you said, they're sponsoring
I'm
good
seeing
players.
their bags a lot. You see them a lot on these live streams because, again, they're sponsoring like good players. And it puts you in the front of people want to throw those types of bags, just like BG. You know what I mean? Like, so AAR they put a little bit more behind it. And it's just really the people that they have.
For sure.
Is why I thought that they could make a deep run this year.
I agree 100%.
And they could pull it off. Brotherhood, I thought, was going to run away with the thing, but you can't slack now. You can't be like ho hum, like get all your minions out early. Now I will run. It's interesting because Brotherhood's very like West Coast too. Mm-hmm. So I think that we're going to see a huge swarm of votes like now going into, we're recording Monday.
Yeah,
but
a little later
to close the day, you have an East Coast company, so they can get that last little rush. So that does sometimes play a factor.
It does
a little bit in the voting. So, but I think Brotherhood has a pretty strong contingency on the East Coast as well, like especially like in like Delaware area and stuff. So like they might.
Where's Winthrop at?
That's North Carolina or South Carolina.
There you go. They got a bunch of
the AAR, right?
What's that?
That's AAR country too.
It is.
Yeah.
Look at that.
Interesting.
But
yeah, so it'll be interesting. If I had to make prediction, I'm going to say it's probably Brotherhood holds off AAR, gets enough, and then I think, man, it's tough. I don't know. I said in the beginning, I didn't want to see this turn into like an ACL versus ACO thing. I think it would be kind of fun to see who would win between Brotherhood and Swag.
Yeah,
2 ACL companies for like the most popular league right now. Like what side are you on kind of right now? Brotherhood was, I think, probably the favorite going in, even though they were a 2 seed. But we all kind of knew, like, they were kind of we thought it was going to be like them versus BG, realistically, but it didn't fall like that.
It didn't fall that way.
So, yep. So I'm excited to see what happens, and then next week we'll talk about it at the pub, and we'll be looking for stuff to talk about. So we'll talk about the results, and
hopefully we're talking about drunk people too.
Oh, I can't wait! Like, I can't wait to get Shane on, and just talk like. We're gonna.
Is there a way that we could do
stories.
subtitles for him?
He's okay. Now his brother. We're gonna get Paul, big boy Paul, on the show. Like he's a fun time. Now we will definitely need subtitles.
He's a fun time.
He's a very fun time. But yeah, he's a good time. All right, let's move on to the recap.
Let's do it, man.
So this weekend, ACL Open. It's second to last Open before the season starts. It was held in West Monroe, Louisiana. And it's a pretty loaded field.
Yes.
If you look down, especially just among who was at the top, very loaded field. This is what we start to see as the season gets closer. These last 2 Opens, you're going to see a very heavy pro attendance. I think probably at this one, and I'll be interested to see at the next one, do pros like maybe sit back a little bit, like take that little extra time, or are we going to see a whole slew of young guns that are all going to this one because they want to be ready and stay hot? If we start with singles, Logan Chamberlain had himself a weekend. He finally kind of puts it all together, gets it done in singles. Is this his first?
Dude, I feel like it is.
I don't know if this is his first singles champion. I feel like he won like last year, though. I could be wrong.
Yeah, he might have early on in the
I could be
opens or
wrong,
something.
but I know he doesn't have very many singles. He's been known, obviously, as one half of a
But
great
he's
doubles
just
team.
always there.
He's just getting better every year.
Yeah.
It's weird. Like, again, like when he first started, he was returning bags back to Justin, right? And then that next year we saw something and we're like, I don't know who the alpha is anymore.
It's true.
And then we go into last year, we're like, okay, like Logan's definitely the alpha. And then this year, I mean, now he's kind of taking his game and he just keeps improving. And he said, I talked to him a little bit and he said that he's been working really strong, like on his mental game.
Yeah.
Like this year, like all of his emphasis has been like just on his mental game. Seems to be paying off right now.
I mean, it's kind of a big part of cornhole. We always talk about it.
So let's go through the results and we'll kind of, then we'll get to the what happened kind of at the end.
What? Something happened?
Something happened.
Oh.
So Logan Chamberlain takes down first. He beats out Gavin Cano, who takes second place overall. Overall, tied for third place, we had Derek Holland and Alex Rawls. We've said it before. If you win your bracket, you got a chance to win the whole freaking thing, right?
Yep.
So Gavin Cano, again, just knocking on the door. He continues to be that guy that's like, if he gets that one done, like, man, I think he could go on a run. I really do.
Mm-hmm.
I think we could see something. He's just got to get over that hump. But again, Logan's been playing great. Derek Holland tied for third. Alex Rawls, I mean, they're really good. It's nice to see Alex Rawls kind of back in the mix. You always kind of forget about him.
But he always seems to just kind of come around right at the right time.
Dude, that's what I'm saying. And then like you forget about him.
Yeah.
And then you go into the season and all of a sudden you're like, oh shit, he's like second overall.
Yeah.
Like
I
we
forgot.
forget like
Yeah.
the kid took like second overall
You're
in singles.
phenomenal at cornhole.
Yeah, it's really good. And he just doesn't play it quite
we
as
always
much.
preach, like I preach consistency, and he's one of the most consistent out there.
It's
Period.
disgusting.
Every year. Yeah.
You have second in the bracket. We had Josh Quinn, Jacob Trzynski, Jamie Graham, and Zach Aiken. So Jamie Graham and Logan Chamberlain played each other in the bracket finals.
Yeah.
A little bit something happened there. So if you haven't seen the video, the full video, I'll give you kind of like a little bit
There's
of a
some sack flicking.
Yeah.
All
So
right.
the game was kind of, I think if I remember correctly, it was like 16-5 maybe. Like it was very obvious in one direction. Logan was winning, right?
Yeah.
Jamie Graham throws a level 1 block, first bag. Logan's second bag's wide right. Not collectible. Like outside far enough where you're just gonna leave that, maybe give up your 2. Jamie then calls a timeout.
Yeah.
Which is 60 seconds. And Logan like kind of walks down to look at some stuff, but that doesn't really. It's almost like he's calling a timeout just to mess up the rhythm. You know what I mean? Just do something. I'm down.
Yeah.
I need to change the momentum of the game here a little bit. So I'm going to call a timeout. You get 60 seconds for the timeout. He goes down, pretends to look at it, doesn't really, and then stands there and he's going to throw, getting kind of ready. Logan Chamberlain stands by the board, looking at it, looking at every angle, and he sits right behind the board as Jamie Graham's going to throw. Jamie throws his bag, perfect replacer. Logan sits there for a second, gets up, walks over, grabs his bag. You know, by this point, Jamie's like, dude, this should be a shot clock violation. Like, it's been longer than 15 seconds. Like, I've been counting. I want a rules official.
Yeah.
Rules official comes over. Jamie's arguing that he should have a shot clock. He should lose his timeout or whatever. I think that's the penalty right now. He should lose his timeout. And they basically said, like, well, now that the official is here, any infraction going forward, we will call, but like we can't call something we weren't here for.
Yeah.
Right. So I get from their side, like, like you should have, if you wanted us, you could have requested us in the very beginning. Now that you're saying you're suspecting a shot clock thing, we will be here and we'll check it out.
Yeah.
Fast forward, you see the clip that Logan Chamberlain posed as a brilliant little teaser, right? Hats off to the kid for marketing.
Yeah.
And go subscribe, right? Go follow the kid's page. He plays some of the best cornhole in the country, and you can subscribe on Facebook. I think it's like $5 a month, something like that. So help a brother out.
Hey, he's one of the first ones doing it. So,
but he posted this little teaser, and it's Logan's bag is hanging in the hole, and they're all kind of walking. Jamie Graham's just sitting there. Logan wasn't grabbing the bag, so Jamie just flips the bag out of the hole, but off the board, right?
Yeah.
A little aggressive, flips it up out of the board. Me and you, as soon as I got here, I asked you what you thought about it.
Yeah.
And he's like, I didn't think it was a big deal. He's like, how many times have we done that to each other?
Yeah,
like,
I do that shit all the time.
You'll chuck my bag 20 feet away and make my fat ass go walk after it. You know what I mean? Like, it is. It's just, I didn't think it was like anything like overly aggressive. Now, this all stems from, it's a level of pettiness, right?
Yeah.
I can understand Jamie Graham's position, taking the timeout as more of a, you messed up your shot, I'm going to get points this round, I'm going to pause. And it is a gamesmanship kind of thing. He's trying to play mental head games.
Yeah.
guess what? Logan just kind of played head games back at you.
He did.
And it seemed like he won.
Well, I mean, his name's at the top.
You know what I mean? Like, so I think you can also say that, sometimes if you're going to be mad at somebody for being petty, well, then don't be petty and take a timeout for no reason. But I get it. It's gamesmanship. It's part of the strategy of it. If everything's not clicking on all cylinders and you need to take advantage of something, you do
just
that.
trying to like momentum shift.
Yeah,
I
correct.
mean,
It
I
wasn't
do
a big deal.
understand that. I mean, it happens.
People are messaging us, asking us who's winning right now. Well, guess what? You don't get to know that.
Only we do.
Yeah, correct. It's a surprise for everybody. I'll post the picture. Hey, okay, can we just say this right now? We don't care who wins.
No.
Do we need to say this again? We don't care who wins.
We're back to Battle of the Bags, by the way.
I promise you, we've done the same thing for every single event we've ever done, right? I close the polls the same. I go to the insights. Whoever's winning there, I take a picture, and those are the results we go by. Every time. Those are the real numbers. What you guys are seeing is for whatever reason, there's fucking delay there. All right, that's not the full number. So just to stay consistent, this is what we've done. Don't bitch about it. There's no conspiracy theory. Done. Anyways, back to results. Really good cornhole play this weekend.
Hey, hell yeah.
It makes it even more impressive seeing the stacked field on top already. And then you look third place in bracket. You have Mark Richards, who seemed unbeatable so far.
Yeah.
Taking third as bracket. AJ Sims, Tony Smith, Spencer Fabular. I mean, it's just, and then you got Jackson Gore taking fourth, Adam Hissner, Ty Thompson, Justin Burton Jr.
Braden Wilson.
Yeah, I mean, it's crazy. I mean, you go down the list, they're like, wow, this is like, we're starting to get to it. Like, this is national time here.
Yeah.
And this is when you start paying attention to like who's performing well. I would have liked to see Ethan Walker, who I think he has all the talent in the world. I think the guy could be a top 5 player in the world this year. I don't like seeing him take fifth in the bracket as we get closer. Now, it could just be a little blip.
Yeah.
But
could have had an early loss and a long road back.
Again, in a stacked field like this, you want to see them all put it together.
Hell yeah.
In doubles, back to back, Mark Richards and Tony Smith just stay hot. They take down Jamie Graham and Eric Davis. Spencer Fabular and Ethan Farias take second in their bracket, along with Hayden Gonzalez and Gabriel Clausen. Third in the bracket was Mason Trader and Cash Chamness, who again, these two continue to have some success at these big events. Also third in the bracket, Austin Waskow and Quinn Reeves, a team that I think they have a lot of potential. I think a lot of people expect them to do very well this year.
Yeah.
So I'm interested to see how they click. And I think they're a team that I want to see them get off to a fast start. Like, be confident.
Yeah, and honestly, like, they looked confident. I actually saw one of their matches in doubles. God, I can't remember who they were facing. It was pretty early on, but like they were both just locked in. It was good to see. Like, I mean, Waskow was slinging. Like he's
sure.
nasty.
I like seeing Chris Roybal and Ryan Hart together. Chase Lester, Ty Thompson. They're two teams that I think have a lot of potential. I just don't know quite where they're going to fit in yet. But either one of those teams, if they went out and finished top 10, I'm not really that surprised. I'm not.
No, I agree.
I think they're both those teams as a doubles team.
Because we also know that
you
you can achieve that with two great like finishes.
Correct.
And they're definitely capable of it.
And you start going down the list and you start seeing, again, bigger names. You got Cody Henderson, Ethan Walker, Sammy Soto, Gavin Cano, who I think widely people would expect them to finish top 3 this year in doubles, like is going into the season for doing rankings.
That's what I'm looking at.
You have Ryan Windsor and Nico Morellis, an interesting team. Windsor's just not the Windsor of old anymore. Like, I don't think he strikes fear necessarily. He's still a really good player.
Yeah.
But Nico Morellis, like, I think you can make the argument he's kind of like the A player.
He might be.
Every year he's one of those guys that just seems to get better. I know like last year probably wasn't like as good of a year in singles as we would have liked, but he's got game. And if he's comfortable with the bags.
Vet. Like he's just, they're going to be a very hard out against anyone that they have to face this year.
You have some question marks, right? With Jeremiah Ellis, Devin Harbaugh. Haven't played a lot together. Jeremiah has been a little bit on a cold streak of these opens. There's something not clicking. But then you look down and you start to see two teams that are just super consistent and they finish better than them. Derek Howell and Alex Rawls, and then Hister and Birchfield.
And how about AJ Sims and Braden Wilson?
You see some really good doubles teams there. So you pause for a second and you're like, in this loaded field, and they never really play together, they still took fifth.
Yeah.
And that's a poor finish. Like, I think so. I think we all need to pause. I don't think it's time to panic. I think that it's just time to I think if we're having real talk, I think Jeremiah needs to realize that you fired up a lot of people last year, and I think you were great for it. You were running your mouth a little. And I'm not saying you were like doing it offensively.
No, you're
I'm
not
saying like you're just
obnoxious about
loud.
it.
You're loud about it. People were going to know you were in the room when you were doing well.
That's
and
why
it's
you have
awesome.
fans right now.
Correct.
Like,
But at the same time, you're going to get some criticism when you're not living up to those standards consistently.
yes.
And I think that I don't want to see it affect him because like I think this kid gets chirped on more than anybody else I've ever seen in the cornhole world.
he does.
Does he bring some of it on himself? Absolutely.
But I think
but-
a lot of people misconceive his intentions.
100%.
Like he's more like just having fun with it, and
correct.
like not.
He's not trying to be an asshole.
No, not at all. But
I mean, he is, but like he's
it's it's just that Midwestern asshole.
correct.
Like it's,
Well put.
Yeah,
Well put. Yeah.
Yeah.
But he's our asshole, damn it.
exactly.
So, let's check out
asshole.
the women.
Whoa, Sean.
That was weird.
We're watching this
Yeah, can we just talk about this for a second? So we're watching, what is this called?
Unrivaled.
Unrivaled. For whatever reason, there's nothing else on. So Dane decided to put on, hey, let's put on 3-on-3 WNBA. It's just pretty bad.
Dude, it
Put it that way. It's like almost unwatchable. Like it's bad. Man.
There we go. Finally found it.
So women's singles, I did get to catch a little bit of this match. Sarah Cassidy handled business against Cheyenne Bubenheim. She looked very comfortable. Again, I think most people play Cheyenne and they go in and they're like, oh shit. Sarah's played her, and she's partnered with her for so many years. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like she just doesn't give a shit. Like, she's like, I'm just gonna have a day. Now, Cassidy's one of those. Every time I'm ready to say, like, all right, she's in the mix to step up and to be that second overall, then she fades away for a while.
Yeah.
Like, there's just not the consistency I love, but we all know, like, how good she can be. Third place, we had Miranda Coy. Fourth place, Sam Finley, staying hot. And then tied for fifth, we had Gina Ramirez and Lexi Hugeback. In women's doubles, you had Sarah Cassidy and Elizabeth Tennyson take down Cheyenne Bubenheim and Gina Ramirez, who seemed for a while unbeatable.
They did
in women's doubles. So Cassidy and Tennyson team to kind of keep an eye on.
Does that just does that catapult Cassidy and Tennyson right into that second spot in your mind then? Going into this season for women's doubles? I mean, to me, it's always hard to bet against like Finley and Streaker.
Yeah, again, but they haven't been super consistent as of late, like the last 2 years.
Yeah.
Like if you're talking 3 years ago, yeah, of course. Like they're up there. Who's Hunter playing with?
I don't know. But then in third, you also had Riley Schaff and Kaylin Allhouse, which is two. Are those both rookies this year?
Yeah, I believe so.
And
Yeah,
they're
Caitlin-
team to watch out for. Allhouse's name has been everywhere,
but I think
and Schaff has improved a lot too.
But I believe Schaff is just like a junior pro.
Okay, she's still
and
junior?
and in the women's division,
Okay.
but yes. And then Caitlin is a name that I keep seeing pop up. So
yeah, for sure.
heck yeah. All right, so we got some dramatic readings, I believe.
Oh, we do, man.
Oh, we do.
In a world where bean bags have brought men to their knees, social media serves as sanctuary for keyboard warriors. Time for the dramatic readings.
I'm just going to start us off
Good.
with a quick, easy one.
Quick and easy. I like that.
Addicted to cornhole. Billy Anthony. Never trust a man with two names. AJ Sims has the best airmail in pro cornhole. It can't be argued. Chili face.
That's a bold statement.
Because for one, it can be argued.
It's going to be
and
argued.
there is a lot of comments on here that say otherwise.
No, I'm not saying AJ Sims not nasty because he is very good.
He's nasty.
And he's probably on a very short list of mine. I think Matt Guy comes to mind right away, just as
Yes.
guys that just consistently have always done it. I mean, if we're talking about best airmailers of all time, I mean,
Jimmy McGuff.
McGuffin's got to be there, right?
Yeah.
I mean, the guy would literally just shoot airmails all match and beat you.
Match. I mean, if we're looking more recent time that kind of go by live and die that, I mean, I'm going with our boy Schaefer Ford.
Yeah, that was
mean,
pretty impressive.
He's pretty nasty with that thing.
I mean, I think you'd argue Mark Richards too, right? I mean, the guy
Exactly. I mean, he still has that airmail. He doesn't live by it as much as he did during his dominant heyday.
the problem is
but
they're all so fucking good at it.
Exactly.
I mean, like it really is. But
It's-
yeah, if you're talking greatest of all
on
time,
a given
to me,
day,
it's
AJ Sims could be the best.
Matt
one
Guy
of them.
and McGuffin, I think, would be my top two answers, like right off the bat.
Yeah, I'd put them out there
So
for sure.
All right.
All right. Hey, guess what? We argued it.
We did. Do you want me to go?
Yeah, because mine's more
Okay.
funny.
It's Jamie Graham.
Teddy Grahams.
I just wanted to let everyone know that I was going to go live, but I made the decision to avoid getting involved in any unnecessary drama within the cornhole community. That's why he made a post, apparently. Let's keep this short and sweet for everyone. I want to start by acknowledging that the situation could have been handled more professionally, but unless you were there in that exact moment, it's difficult to say how you would have reacted. When I woke up and saw the video of me flipping his bags out of the hole, I want to stress that there was more to the story. The bag that I flipped out of the hole was never going to fall in, and his refusal to pick up the bags while I was keeping score led me to fling the bag out of the hole the way I did. In my opinion, Logan was being petty when I called for a timeout. A timeout is supposed to last for 60 seconds, but when I called for it, he walked to the other end of the boards and just sat there well past my timeout time. I asked for an official, but they couldn't do anything since they weren't in that area. His smirking and laughing really bothered me because he knew he could get away with it. Everyone will have their own opinions based on what you saw or heard, but in the end, it's all just petty drama. Logan, you were able to come out on top this time.
Ooh. New rivalry born?
Okay, so I just have to say I love Jamie Graham, right?
Yes.
He's one of our favorite dudes. Like, he's really, I think sometimes a misunderstood dude, right? He's actually a very nice guy. He has, like, he's got that, like, mean mugging face a little bit, but he's actually a super sweet dude, like, very, very nice. I do find it very funny, though, that you're going to say that you're going to go live and you want to avoid getting in any unnecessary drama, but you're going to, like, just make this very long Facebook post. I mean, like, I get it. Like, you want to explain your side of the story. I don't think it necessarily needed to be explained. If you saw it, you kind of understood where he was coming from. What I think he needs to acknowledge is that, like, you were trying to play a mental game.
Yes.
Regardless of what you said. Like, there was no reason to call that timeout unless you were trying to flip the switch, right? Yeah. And you're mad that he beat you at that game.
Yeah, he played the old Uno reverse card on you.
Did he do it the same way you did it to him? No, not quite, but, like, you can't let that get to you, right?
Well, you literally just said that it got to you.
So what if I'm facing Jamie Graham? What am I? I'm going to try to smirk and
yeah,
you know what I mean? Like, just do little things to get under his skin, right? You can't let people know that it gets to you.
Give him one of these. Like, what's that on your shirt?
Chili dip.
Right? Bean dip. But that would be touching another player, Sean. It's not allowed. Okay.
Touch my bag, flinged it.
You flick this, I flick that.
Yeah.
Hey-o.
Like, can we talk about the power in that flick, though? That was one thing. It looked like just a middle finger. I mean, that was impressive.
God damn it. You all know what I was going to say, so I'm just going to leave it there.
Okay. I don't even know what you're going to say, man.
Oh.
All right, anyway.
Don't play dumb.
So, yeah. So, I don't know. It was, I just thought it was very ironic that he's saying, I don't want to get involved in the drama, but here's all the drama that exactly happened from my side of the story. It's like, if you didn't want to be involved, then just don't say anything and just stay on Facebook for a day, and everyone's going to forget about it.
Wipe the slate clean, wait for the next open because more drama will ensue. And
but at the same time, we thank you. And yes. I salute you, Jamie Graham. Thank you very much, sir. Thank you.
All right.
Last one?
Yeah, one more for the road.
Do it.
Addicted to cornhole. Brad Stickling. Unpopular opinion, but the sissies who can't hold all their bags should have to wait until their opponent throws before reaching over and picking up another bag. Common courtesy, in my opinion, but I've learned to just wait before I throw.
I'm not going to lie. We've known, like, this has been an issue of mine forever.
Yes.
And I actually accused somebody, a former pro, when I was throwing against him in league, of doing it just intentionally to try and mess me up.
Yes.
And I still believe he was doing it intentionally to mess me up once he realized that it bothered me.
Hey, but guess what? Mental warfare.
100%.
Sean.
I'm not saying that my mental warfare is strong. Like, it's the weakest of anybody. I get that 100%. That's never been argued, ever. But, no, I do agree. If you're going to set your bag, I think most people are pretty good about it. But if you're going to leave your bags on the board, you wait until I'm done throwing, because your turn, once that bags leaves your hand, your turn's done. Get out of the way. Don't touch your bag until I'm going over there. You know what I mean? Are you you're a 2 bag?
Yeah, I hold 2. Yeah.
Okay.
but I always have two in my hand. So like, but mine's
That's
always
so
like
weird.
I
Except
throw
for your last bag.
and then as I'm stepping back, I'm literally like grabbing that bag. So I'm really not like
Okay.
doing anything malicious, but I
think
do keep my bags at the front of the board though.
Yeah, I think that's what he's talking about. The guys that neatly stack them, and even if they don't step, but like they're every time like you're about to start, like then that's when they're going down for it.
Yeah.
Like I get it. It shouldn't bother me. I get it 100%. But just out of the corner of my eye, I felt like it would always just fuck with me just enough.
Just go arm outside.
It's just
Then you never
I'm
have
just dumb.
to. Then it never has to.
Oh,
Bother
it
you.
shouldn't bother me at all. But just I'm just mentally weak.
But the amount of people that agreed with this post and disagreed with it were astronomical.
Oh yeah.
It was too good to not read on here because it is a big divide.
It's
So-
a divide, really. I'm actually
Yeah.
kind of surprised by that.
Yeah, and it's just because everyone's just like, you shouldn't let it bother you. Like, just throw better. Like that's the typical like addicted to cornhole response. That a lot of people were backing him as well. It was just it was a good one. To me, I just don't care. It's never bothered me. If people think it does, I try to just get tunnel vision.
Very true.
Just tunnel vision.
Yeah. I think Craig Householder had a really funny. He's like, hear me out. MTV Celebrity Deathmatch X Lego movie with Jamie and Logan.
Okay,
That would be pretty fun.
that would be funny,
I do miss Celebrity Deathmatch.
dude. That show was awesome.
It was like ahead of its time.
Yes, you go back and watch them now, and it's still funny.
I
Now
mean,
you
I
realize
think,
how bad the claymation was, but
I think you got, if you're honest with yourself though, you got to go. The first one's got to be Jamie and Jeremiah, I would imagine.
yeah. And then do you have like Jamie come out on top because he's got to take round 2 then?
No, and then you have Cody Henderson against himself.
Glasses on and off.
Yes, for sure.
Right?
Yeah, for sure. Yes. Are you contacts him or are you glasses? Never know. I'm getting so distracted by whatever is like on TV right now.
It's Mad Max
Oh,
Furiosa.
I
I
have not
believe.
seen it before. Pretty wild.
It is pretty wild.
Pretty
Tom
wild.
Hardy, great one.
Sweet. You want to cue that rap horn?
Is it time?
It is. It's
All right,
that
so
time.
yeah, we gotta hop off so we can finish watching Mad Max.
You can reach us at Instagram, YouTube, TikTok, and Twitter at Big Ass Cornhole.
It's no longer Twitter; it's called X. But
Yeah,
then you
same
can
thing.
reach
We
us
all
at
know what you're talking about.
Facebook at Big Ass Cornhole Podcast or Meta if we're trying to stay, legit with it.
Yeah, obviously.
Yeah, Big Ass Cornhole Podcast. Thanks again to Draggin Bags. Y'all are awesome. Go grab your sacks today. Beat them in the way you like. Drop code BIGASP12 at checkout. And it's going to save you money.
We would be remiss if we did not bring up Patreon and our Patreon peeps over there. So shout out to all of you guys who support the show.
You're the real ones, man.
And if you would be interested in supporting the show as well, you get access to bonus content. You go to patreon.com/bigasscornhole. And for the price of a beer a month, you can support the show and allow us to keep doing what we're doing. And we're on to year 6. And again, we're trying to keep growing this thing. It's been fun. We love traveling, and we're obviously weather is starting to break. We're starting to see signs of like no snow and dry grass.
Yay.
And that means boards are going to be out. We're going to be going golfing a whole bunch. So kind of branching out and doing some golf content this year. So I'm excited for that. And
Hell
then,
yeah.
so it
Just
should
to
be
see
fun.
how bad we are.
Yeah. Oh, for sure. I can't wait. And I'm going to be so terrible on camera the first time. Like if you think I'm bad on a live stream for cornhole,
Yeah,
like,
you're gonna
I
feel
just don't
that
even want to think
pressure
about it.
and
Yeah.
oof.
I just got to forget the camera's even there.
Well,
Tunnel vision, right?
Tunnel
Is that what you
vision.
call that?
Exactly. Yeah.
Oh, weird.
Or just,
Weird.
not giving 2 shits.
Yeah, that too.
That usually helps.
Yeah, it does. Golf, I feel almost better about just because I've seen so many other terrible people on YouTube and posting content. I'm like,
Yeah.
oh, all right, I don't feel so bad. Like,
Yeah,
I'm not
they,
that bad.
They chat shots all the time,
Yeah,
too.
it happens.
Golf is hard.
Golf is hard.
It's
Amen,
hard.
man. Golf is hard. Well, hope you guys enjoyed the interview. Hope you guys enjoyed the episode. We're going to be joined by Eric Tscherne, former ACL pro. Just has some really cool ideas of where he thinks the game is going to go. Eric and I have talked a bunch on Messenger leading up to this, and just we had an opportunity to have a good conversation. So I hope you guys enjoy the interview.
Hell yeah.
We were supposed to be joined by these guys from Pop Darts.
Yeah, but,
they're avoiding us, and they just don't want the smoke, man.
they don't want the heat. Apparently, for some reason, they tried to start a beef online, tried to bring them on here to chit-chat, have a civil conversation.
They're ducking us.
keep ducking us.
canceling like a day before.
Apparently, trade shows are more important than hopping on a podcast for 2
And, like,
hours at night after a trade show's already over, and you can do it from
don't
the
have a
comfort
cell
of your
phone?
hotel room.
Yeah,
Or like
right?
whatever.
It's just very weird. Like,
Whatever.
I don't
That's
know.
okay. We'll just keep on keeping on because
Yes.
life's a garden. Dig it.
Wow, that was
Hell
beautiful,
yeah.
man. All right. Well, as always, we hope you throw it straight. That's nothing but 4-baggers from here on out.
Cornhole it.
Later. All right, welcome back to the Big Ass Cornhole Podcast. We are now joined by one of our favorite dudes, Mr. Eric Tscherne. What's going on, man?
How you guys doing, man? I'm doing good. Good out here.
Yeah, is it like still like great weather for you? Like just awesome?
It's pretty much good weather all the time.
Yeah. It's,
We've had very little rain this winter, so
I mean, yeah,
plus.
yeah. Well, we got more snow this year, and you're from Ohio originally.
yeah, east side, Cleveland.
Oh, East Side. You're an
Yeah,
East
so
Side.
you're
dude. All right.
you're in snow country then.
Yes,
Yeah, Twinsburg. So we had lots of snow days.
Oh,
yeah.
oh, yeah.
Boston Mills, Brandywine, all that stuff.
for sure. Yeah, I work out that way. It's like I have an office out in like Stowe and Fairlawn and all that stuff. So I'm out that way a little bit. But yeah, dude, like this year, because like probably the last 10 years or so, we've gotten like a weekend or two where we got hit hard. But then like for the most part, it was just cold.
Yeah.
Like we didn't have much snow. But this year we got a decent amount of snow. It sucked.
It did suck.
Yeah.
Because then it got real cold after that snow, so it just stuck around the whole time.
Yeah.
They didn't
That's
have
never
any
any fun.
melt off,
No,
but
it's not fun at all.
finally
But-
melted.
But today was beautiful. It was like 60 degrees outside.
Hell yeah.
Sun shining. Yeah, I mean, it was like that first,
That's
like,
perfect, man. That's perfect. I actually thought about it since I knew I was coming on the podcast. I was driving home and the weather was nice. And I was like, I wonder if the weather's nice in Cleveland yet.
Yep.
first day.
First day.
twinkle of like, hey, like there's hope. You know what I mean? Like,
I know those days, man. I know them.
My
I know 'em
grass
real
finally
well,
like
so.
stood upright today, and it's like, oh my god, what is this? Sunlight?
you made it. You
Made it through the
guys.
winter.
All right.
I was gonna
Good-
break
that's
out
a
into
good
song.
sign.
For sure. So what's new with you, man?
All things, man. Like, I retired officially as a pro cornhole player.
Yeah.
Still play quite a bit, but I retired from the pro circuit, and but I am supporting our team at Ultra, right? So I took on some of the roles of that manager role that we had at Ultra, and
Okay.
in addition to the other things that I do. So
So
Pretty good.
was it hard stepping away?
it was hard. I kind of knew I would before the season started. I kind of had this sense that unless I had like a really good jump in performance, that the game was probably keeping up with the new players that would come in every year and replace the lower performing players was always hard, right?
Yeah.
Because they don't come in at the bottom. They kind of salt in on
Right. It's crazy.
their skill. And that kind of shifts a lot of people down, and it becomes really hard to requalify. And that's a bit of stress, but I kind of knew it was going to be my time, and I was fine with that.
I get it. Are you?
I wasn't fine with it.
Do you think you're gonna miss like the grind, like going to the the grind of the events and stuff, like the competitiveness, or if you find like local competitions and going to opens, like does it still kind of meet that fix?
I haven't played as much ACL this year.
Okay.
Just the way that it has worked out. They came out here west for 2 opens. One was in Reno on Valentine's Day,
Yeah, I get that.
and then
yeah.
one was in Albuquerque. And it was a shootout. I didn't want to play that. I didn't do well in shootout format, so
Yeah, I
I
get
wasn't
that.
going to spend a good chunk of money to go do that myself. But I play, once a week in my Moose Lodge League. I'm currently with my actual partner. We're like 38-0 over 3 seasons. We haven't lost a game. We actually added a player to our team so that we're not crushing everybody
Okay. It's kind of nice though, right?
Yeah. So, and it's fun. Like, it's fun playing with somebody different. So instead of playing 6 games, I play 4. I play 2 with the guy that I've been playing a lot with, 2 with the new guy.
Okay.
So I play 2 with Jason and 2 with Blaine. And, we're having a blast. So
That's sweet.
I'm having a little more fun playing cornhole, but trying to find that balance of like high competition. Like, I can clearly get the competition on any given game. I can throw a super high PPR, play a really good game. And then other times I feel like I become maybe disinterested or distracted.
Yeah, I get
Yeah.
that. So obviously next year they're having like the big cut, right?
Yeah.
They're trimming the pro
Yeah.
field down even more. They're getting down to 100. There's going to be a lot more of you out there, right? Guys that they're not in the pro division anymore. I think.
Yeah.
What's your general feel? Like, do you feel like you're in the minority, or do you feel like you're in the majority of like where guys are going to be like they're not going to play in a lot of ACL events, they're going to go more local?
Well, I mean, I could tell you, like, I watch a lot of pro players, right? There's pro players out there that are clearly struggling with not being pro anymore. That was a big chunk of their life. They identify with that. So there's, people try to find a balance on what it is they want to do.
Yeah.
Other people enjoy it and they're still traveling. They've got people who they're friends with or they're related to that are on the pro circuit. So they're still traveling along as elite players. I think you're going to see a mix match. I think it also depends on what the ACL's program looks like next year and how it sets up for us. Like as a middle-aged guy, right? I'm not a senior and I am not a junior. So when I go to an open and spend money, I don't get junior doubles, college doubles. I don't get all those extra events that the junior players do. There's a lot of value in traveling if you're a junior. Like I could completely understand it. They play 7, 8, 9 events over the course of a weekend. If you are a middle-aged man, you get to play a blind draw. Maybe if you paid money, you can choose between blind draw or teams, and then you can play an open and open singles.
Is cornhole the only thing that like this is where middle-aged men have like a serious like have like a realistic like complaint?
Yes.
Yeah, I mean,
I try not to complain about it. Like, to be honest with you, like I try not to complain about it. I try to stay positive because I do think the growth of the sport is good. Like I've had conversations over the years about all this stuff with like women's side of things. Like I do believe that investing in all these groups is good.
100%.
But there is one group that isn't getting that investment.
Yeah. What about the hurdles and adversity that we have to deal with in order to be good at this game? Huh?
So
I pitched Trey last year. I was like, dude, you need like an over 40 division, like a 40 to 55 or 40 to 60. And then,
yeah, call it the beer league.
And seniors.
Do you think we'll see
the Champions Tour,
this like trickle down effect of like hurting the overall growth at like a grassroots level with like this sudden bigger influx of like pros playing in events? Like, I think that you might see some people now with like where pros, especially this year, they're limited to like their own field, right? Like, so they can't, unless they go to an open event, like at their own field, like they have pro only stuff that they get into. Are they going to keep having that? Like what are most of those guys not going to do elite? Are they going to just do advanced? So if we say a huge influx of talent suddenly dump into an advanced and they're allowed to play that because they're not elite, right? They're not a pro. Does that bump everything down? Then do those borderline like lower level advanced players, they're like, listen, I'm tired of I'm going to go competitive. And then it just kind of keeps bumping down. And then by the time you're a brand new player getting in, if you're not throwing at least a 7, like you're just not going to have a good time.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've chatted a little bit about it, and I don't disagree with you, right? Like I think I told you I played advanced singles because I'm not an elite player. I didn't bother to spend the money just because I wasn't going to travel.
Yeah, I get that.
I didn't think that the events lined up for me.
Yeah.
So I was like, yeah, sure, I'll play. So I played advanced singles out at Bagmania. And, I lost to Doug Zaft in the 2-3 game. I lost to a high-end player who's probably an elite level player in the King Seat game. There were definitely some people who recognized my name that weren't excited to play me. Feel bad a little bit about that, but advanced singles in some of our bigger events like that are really like an extra event run on like Friday with juniors. And to me, I treat it like a bonus event. Like I can play it when I couldn't play it before. And I had a lot of fun, I got a bucket of beer, played all my games, 1 beer at a time.
There you go. That's the way to do it.
That's how my PPR slowly has a steady increase,
But I guess
it was awesome until I had to wait to play the King Seat game, and then
the worst. Yeah, it's the worst.
Yeah.
It's always a killer. That wait, I'm with you. I'm a rhythm guy. If I sit for 5 minutes, I'm screwed.
I had a bucket of beers, and so the wait turned into.
I get that.
That's more my problem. Is I'll just sit there and hammer a couple while I'm waiting.
Yes.
Then all of a sudden, like I'll stand up and I'll have to pee. And
Yes,
so hard to throw when you have to pee.
It really is.
Dude,
Like you can't focus on anything else.
I've stopped a game before to go pee.
I mean, you got to
I'm just
do
like,
it.
listen.
call time out to go to the bathroom.
Yeah, I'm like time out and like use all of them in a row because this one's gonna be a doozy. Like I'll be back.
Do you think that eventually they'll start seeing like what are they going to do if they're down to 100 pros, right? Like, are we going to start seeing like where pros are not allowed to attend certain events and like there's going to only be like a pro
I think
tour?
you have to go that route because you're going to dump so much talent back down into that advanced area.
Yeah.
And then also when I look at the scores for the pros, right? Like now I'm not a guy keeping up right now, right?
Yeah.
I'm playing twice a week. I play a Switcholio on a Wednesday. I play in my league on Thursday. Due to that, like I'm not playing 5-6 nights a week anymore or throwing every day. I'm playing better, but the rate of progression isn't keeping up. I mean, the sheer volume of guys shooting 10 plus now is insane.
Yeah.
Versus like when I went pro 5 years ago, so I think you're going to see that when you get down to 100 pros, their PPRs are all going to be like 9-8 plus.
Yeah.
Like they are elite players. Like this is not close. The level of skill.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah. Will have. The guys who miss the cut will be just as good as the guys that are at the bottom of that 100. And you're dumping a bunch of guys shooting mid 9s to upper 9s, low 10s possibly into a player pool, right? And the advanced division, as we've talked about this, it kind of starts at like 8-2 or something like that, but it caps out at like essentially 12.
Yeah.
That's almost a 4-point swing of possibility.
Correct.
Right. And we know from cornhole that like these gaps of anything more than like a point to a point and a half become really hard to keep up with.
Yeah.
So when you look at like a comp division, right, those guys are at like 7-2 to 8-2. And they like it like that. It's real tight in terms of their skill level, right? And so if you want to play up and you've got a 6-5 or whatever, that's kind of on you. But to your point, I think you're going to have to look at those divisions next year and go like, is advanced really like a 9 plus and is comp like 7
Correct.
8?
It just as a gauge. You know what I mean? Like obviously you're going to have like some tournaments where the numbers are skewed, right? Either positive or negative, but you need to have at least an idea of going into like, what should I enter myself in as like based off these stats?
But you know, it's funny too. And you guys have been doing this a long enough time. Like you look around and you know everybody's skill level, and it's a pet peeve of mine. But I'll look at the brackets. Like I looked at a regional in the LA area over the weekend, and I saw people kind of in divisions where I'm like, man, I play you every Thursday night. You play really good. What are you doing in intermediate? You know. But like somebody hasn't moved their skill level, so they're going to play down as far as they can go, so they can win $50.
I think I'm a decent barometer of all this stuff only because I don't play anymore. Yeah. So when I go, like I know at my best where I can be, but like I also know that like I can't expect that just because like again I just don't throw very much anymore. But when I go and when I play, I can already see the change in level, like playing from like competitive to advanced. And like what I used to think I could hang, like there's no hanging anymore. You know what I mean? Like, and I'm talking, I think last year I might've played competitive singles, the one tournament, just because I hadn't played in forever.
Yeah.
I just happened to be there that day. They're like, well, if you want to play, you know, we'll let you play. Like, we know you suck. So it's fine.
It's no big deal. You're not winning.
The kid, I remember throwing very well, like surprisingly well. And I'm like, oh shit, like maybe I made a mistake. But then I met, like, I think it was the second game or something, and I was throwing great, but like this kid was a killer, man. And I'm like, what the fuck? Like I left. I remember thinking, even losing that game, I'm like, you know what? Like I can't be mad. Like I'm never going to throw better than that. And that's when I'm like, well, then I don't belong in the advanced. If I can't beat someone's best in competitive, then like I don't belong in advanced, right? Like simple as that.
Well, I think that's
the truth.
I think that's also something that there's a difference between say an advanced and a comp player, and there's a mindset component of that, right?
Yeah.
And I talked to you a little bit about how like I'm not always wired to win the whole tournament the way I used to be. Like I used to get out of the car really wired to try to win, right?
Yeah.
You wonder why like all these pro players have problems at switches and stuff, and you know, raise my hand, I've had my fair share. It's because you get out of the car wired to try to win every game and work on that, right? Versus just showing up and like, I'm here to drink 3 beers, throw some air mails, and have a good time. And I see that in the comp division. A lot of players are like, I got on a run, I had a good day. The air mails were going, but they shoot more than I would shoot in their situation, given their skill, right? But they're there to shoot. That's what they came to do. So I think like you'll see that like when those kids kind of cross over and become advanced, or somebody you run into who's like really there to grind. Like it's like, man, like I didn't bring that today.
Well, what are your thoughts about like the whole like youth movement? Do you think it's this is kind of a hard question to frame because obviously we want youth players because it's going to be good for the overall growth. Do you think it's good for the competitive side, letting them play in like open divisions and hell, even in the pro division?
So I'll be straight, and many people know. My personal take is that I don't think we should have allowed them to be pros.
Okay, and why?
I don't think it's a great look on TV to see a 14-year-old beating a 30-year-old guy. It makes the sport look not terribly difficult to pick up and not terribly hard to do. And then I also begin to wonder too, when I see these kids taking off a lot of school to travel and to go to all these tournaments, it makes you wonder, like, are these kids getting the things they need? Because, the way that cornhole's been shaping up, right? You have a good year and then everybody starts to catch you. And it's like, how long can you make money at this? How much money can you even make at this? Like, all of a sudden you're 25 years old. Hopefully at 25, you just go to school and you catch back up to everything. But if you didn't pay attention in high school and you didn't do all the things that you needed to do to be able to go take those college entrance exams or to get yourself together to go to a trade school or something that you need to do to gain some skills, you're kind of going to be at a loss when the sport's over with you.
Yeah. No, I do agree. I mean, we've talked about this on the show a bunch. It's like, that's my biggest concern is I don't get me wrong. If I was a teenager or like, young 20 something and I had an opportunity to travel the country because somebody was going to pay me and I was really good at cornhole, like I can't say that I wouldn't probably try it. Knowing myself, I would have probably just bet on myself, go do it for as long as I can. But what kind of life skills do these guys have once they leave? Because,
and I'll tell you what, like I have less of an issue with the 18 to 25-year-old set, even the 17 to 30-year-old set. That's what those people should be doing at that age, figuring out if they can do it, right? They travel together. They don't need to bring their moms and their dads to everything.
Yeah.
I really feel for a child pro, right? Or a child wannabe pro who's got to bring a parent or a guardian or 2 or 3 parents and a sister, and they've got to bring everybody to an event. If that player doesn't win enough money, right, and that family starts to struggle because they're putting out this money to make these trips, right? And what kind of sponsorships do they bring, right? Like I know what it costs for me to do it with a really generous sponsor. I can't imagine what it costs for a family of 3 or 4
that's what I'm saying. Correct.
Yeah,
correct. And then you're also putting like a lot of faith in because like some of these guys, like they don't travel with their parents.
Yeah.
Some of them.
Yeah.
Like that's putting
that's scary. That's even scarier.
That's what I'm saying. Like you're putting like a big trust on it. And like, luckily, like the cornhole community as a whole, we tend to be pretty solid.
Do a good
group
job
of people.
with it. It's just,
and you have a lot of moms and dads out there that are going to watch out.
Just one of those situations where there's, a bunch of buttons all over the place and one big shiny red button there. And like we're hitting everything around it.
I think some of that starts too, because like the youth movement in the sport, it's not so much like when you show up on a Wednesday night to play or even a regional back in wherever you're at, there's 5 or 6 kids that you might run into, particularly if you're at the high end of playing, right? If you're in the advanced or open division, there's maybe only a couple that are starting to cross over into that group. So you kind of look at them and you go like, okay, I like those kids, right? Like, I remember when I used to be able to beat Emacs. I have probably not beat him in a good year and a half. Like, I root for Emacs. Like, I'm going to root for those kids. I'm going to look out for those kids. I know his parents, right? Like, and I'm not even going to have to deal with like parenting one of those kids because I can just text his mom. I can text his dad and be like, hey,
I can tattle on you.
Exactly.
Yeah. I don't know. Sometimes I think that they belong in like their own division completely. And I feel like it would just separate because like the more I think of it as a parent, like if one of my kids was in an event and let's say at an open and they're playing against somebody and like they're openly like drinking, like even if they're fine, like it's still a weird thing, right? Like to have your kid around that.
I'll tell you that I really enjoy playing like my Moose League. I really enjoy it because it's pretty much a 21 and up place.
Yeah, man.
I haven't really encountered too many children in there.
Yeah.
And so I can kind of let it loose a little bit. I can have a little bit more fun and play a little bit more.
And this is not like me trying to attack the character of like any of like the young guns on the ACL because I think they handle themselves tremendously well for being so young.
Yeah.
I mean, like you have like Alex Hicks, Ryan Trader, and Braden Wilson. They're all very polite, well spoken.
Like, they're doing great.
They're doing a great job. They're doing a great job. But my thing is like there's always going to be some sort of an exception, and I think those 3 are almost like the exception. Like, you know what I mean? Like you're not always going to get that situation happening when you get somebody that young. And I don't know. I just feel like there is like you're setting yourself up for an opportunity for something to go wrong, right? And you're already if you're really trying to push like the gambling agenda and getting people to bet on it, when you go down to 100, you can't be having like 5% of the pool that like might return the money back because they win. You know what I mean? Like you just can't have that. I think that's a
big part of it too.
100%.
The other thing that I like too about separating the divisions is like when I started playing this game, I played it camping, right, with the dad, father, son camping group, the YMCA.
Okay.
And it's a bit of like, I came from high school golf. To me, it's a bit of a gentleman's game, right? It's self-officiated, right? We're all here to have a good time. There's just a little bit of all of that, right? Like, you tap the guy when you're playing with your buddies who throws out a turn. You're like, you give him the bag back. And then, like I remember the first time I threw out a turn at a tournament, like the guy that I threw out a turn against gave me the bag back. And then the next time I threw out a turn against him, he goes, you don't get that bag back ever again. Like I told you the rule, like you live and you learn, right? And so I kind of look at like juniors as a place also where they should potentially be learning the etiquette so that as they move into a division playing with adults, but they're playing the same game. Because I'm not sure they're playing the same game. The trash talk, all of that. Like I'm not sure that how I like that, right? On a Wednesday night, like do I want to get really amped up like that again with alcohol involved and like do I want to be trash talking with a set 22-year-old?
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, I get it. I get it. Now, speaking of, were you the one that had played in one of like those mediocre golf like events or from like that area?
Yeah. So I was in the Mediocre Golf Association.
How is it?
Morgan
is so give me the lowdown. Is it fun?
Yeah. It is. It's a blast. It's a blast. I love the MGA. I had played high school golf and then I took a long time off. So getting that back out there, I was playing with Jody Lim, who was a PDC player. We had a bunch of guys who were playing that played cornhole.
Sweet.
And we would golf and cornhole, and we'd play cornhole after. And it was a blast. There's a handicapping system, so a player like me who could have like a good hole and a bad hole because that's just what happens when you used to be good. It was a lot of fun, right? I think the very first time I had the highest round, so like I won the key to the red tees.
Oh, nice.
Like so, I played the whole next week or the next tournament from the front tips.
Oh shit! Nice.
Yeah,
hell yeah!
Like all of a sudden, shot 3 under.
I'm like, I'm on the green on par fours.
Hell yeah! Now we're playing in our the event. It's May 31st. It's gonna be the first one. Yeah, so we're gonna play in 2 of them this year. So I'm excited. I've never played.
Which one is that? They had the great names. They had things like the Masters, but they called it something else.
I can tell you, it's.
I thought they did a really great job with that whole thing. Like I was bummed when we stopped doing it, but maybe we'll get back to it.
I think this one's to play on the U.S. Open. This is the first one we're going to.
Because the Masters, I think, is called the Bastards or something.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then I know the second one we're going to is the Cleveland FU Open.
That's awesome.
Yeah, so I'm excited. Yeah, so
I always love that too, because the other thing that was fun about that program was I got to see courses that I might not have gone to. Because somebody else sets it up, right? So all you got to do is like commit to playing, send somebody some greens fees, and then show up and you're like, hey, I'm playing Tanglewood or whatever.
Yeah, correct.
That maybe you might not have been able to even get on.
Yeah, correct. No, I'm excited. I'm very excited. I've never played like an official like tournament before. I just want to go play in something and like actually see where my game's at. Like I'm just interested. You know what I mean? Like because when you go,
they have a ton of side games, skins games.
Can't wait.
It was a lot of fun stuff going on.
Yeah, I can't wait. I'm very excited for that. So I know it's a little sidebar, but
I mean that's this entire show.
Yeah,
sidebar.
Much.
So like,
pretty much.
What are you talking about?
Overall, what were your thoughts like on the teams? Like when you were playing in the pro? Like do you think people like were starting to buy into it? Do you think like there is some sort of future? Do you feel like the ACL is still behind it as much as they were?
So I like the general idea of teams. I like the additional stuff that was being done. I think there's problems with teams. I think they've addressed some of them with the new format.
Yeah, I agree.
I think they're going to have more elite players. I think that also gives them, again, opportunity to tell more stories because you're going to see more of the same players playing, right? Like, I'm not sure how the rules work, but it's possible. I'm not sure if like a guy can play singles and play on the Crew Cup.
I don't think so. I think they have to be unique players in all of them.
but they're getting closer to some of that. I know we talked about some of that stuff when I was still on the pro committee last year, but it feels tighter and better.
Yeah.
I will tell you this though, like I'll be straight up and critical and hopefully in a positive way, because I think it's room to work. There's no information on the website.
Nope.
I can't even get the rosters for the teams.
Nope.
So even as a player or as a manager of my team, I have to it's hard for me to figure out who to send what bags to, because they have to play on TV with bags that match their team. So like I'm making bags, right? We're sending Viper RVs to, Anthony Eastridge. And I'm like, are you still on the freeze? Right?
Yeah. I know it's very
so I
tough.
sent them the right bags. The website's not there. They've got a lot of different podcasts, but they're not talking about teams, though I'm not sure there's any action happening right now. But like last year, there was action throughout the year at Opens, and they devoted zero time to talking about that. So we didn't know like who was where in the standings and what games mattered, right?
We've been very public about we would like to make this year, the year of 2025, the year of teams. Like we're going to do everything we can to try to talk about it, because I do feel like with the new format change, they might have something there. But
I agree with you, and I think
they got to help us out with information, though. It's impossible to find right now, and
you have to watch it all. You have to like somehow tune into it all and read all the brackets. Like it'd be really difficult.
It is very difficult. It's tough, and the times that they play are sometimes like not easy times. Like they're very random.
Yeah, we were playing at 9 a.m. on Sunday morning sometimes for teams, or Saturday before whatever.
And like again, it wasn't like really promoted that well.
Yeah.
Like I had to go search for it if I really wanted to think about it. Like,
and to be honest, as a member of a team last year, right, actually all the years that I played, right, I played on teams for 3 different seasons. As a member of a team, I didn't know where we were at in the standings at any given time. I didn't know the importance of any given game or match, right?
They all matter.
That's true. They all matter.
they got it to a point last year where they all matter.
Yeah.
Because they did. They were played for every game was $50. So if you won it, you won $50 for your team's prize pool. And so we talk about like, how does a pro player get paid? Well, like my team didn't even make the playoffs last year, and I got like $500 from teams just because of the games that we won and my share of those games. If you make the championship, the payout. My buddy Matt Allen made the championship in year 1, and he had like a $2,000-$3,000 payout.
Which is that's a nice little paycheck.
That was a couple years ago. So like we put more money towards that when we were on the pro committee. So theoretically, that's like the working, like when we talk about like a working pro, if you show up, you're going to get a piece of those games. If you show up and perform, there's money there. So it's a bit like the golf cut, right?
Yeah.
I guess I
was personally disappointed over the years. They chipped at the payout range. Used to go a lot deeper. So there were guys making like $20 for coming in 17th place. And I know there were people had strong feelings about that because there wasn't big enough paydays at the top for the top guys to make it count.
Yeah.
But if you look at sports where you have traveling professionals, they got to know that if they perform even reasonably well, they're going to get paid. And you look at a sport like golf and you make the cut, you're getting a check just for making the cut.
So what would be the cut in a cornhole tournament?
I figured 2 and 2, something like that, like whatever. So basically the halfway line, right? So it's a 64 bracket. The top 32 should probably get paid. So I guess in the new future, like that depends how they break that 100 down, right? I'm assuming they're still going to go to 4 brackets.
I think you got to go deeper than that. I think you can't go 50. You can't just pay the top like 50%.
Yeah. I mean, I think maybe long-term you're looking at the top 50%, but maybe the short term's the top quarter, top third. And what does that look like? I don't know. Right.
Yeah. Yeah, like I could see like if you hit like a certain number of wins, that, then you're guaranteed pay. Because then like those loser bracket games where like, hey, you need 5
or maybe
wins.
every game has a value. Maybe every winner's bracket game is $100 game, and every loser bracket game is $25.
Dude, that now you're onto something.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You put in serious
Every
like actual
game
money
matters,
on.
right?
Yeah.
I made a good run at Corpus Christi with Ty Lopez a couple years ago. I get all my partners and years confused, but we ended up tied for 5th.
Okay.
But you had to play that out. So we played Eric Davis and Brett Guy right after we wash out against eventual champs Logan and Justin Burton Jr. That day, they were the only team that beat us. We lost the same team twice. That sucks.
That's a good team to lose to, though.
It
Then we
is.
played Brett and Eric, and I remember tapping Ty on the shoulder going like, this is like a $200 game. Like the difference between 5th and 6th,
Oh, yeah.
you don't get paid for 6th.
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
And like we're literally playing straight up for like $400.
But it does. But that's what I'm saying. Like that's what makes it interesting, though.
It does. Yeah. It makes a little extra sauce on it. They should
Yeah, for
announce
sure.
that kind of stuff before they play.
Yeah.
games.
For sure. I like this something you could talk about live on the broadcast and like
Yeah.
what they're playing for, and like here's the cut line, and you know what I mean, like it.
But if you went through and salted a bracket and made every game have a value to it, every game has a value.
Yeah.
Right. You know, maybe the first round games are $25 and the first round of the losers only 10. But like if you figure out that how to salt that money in so that the winning guy wins
Yeah.
10 grand and the second place guy wins 8.
Yeah.
Right. You can figure out how you can go 1 and 2 and make $25, or you go 5 and 7.
I don't hate that idea, actually.
5 and 2, whatever, and you made $300, $400.
I think I like the idea.
I do too.
But
yeah.
like, I'm also not participating in this trying to win money.
That's true.
I feel like you'd probably be in the minority among the pro players.
Yes, I probably would be, but that's because again, what they tend to look at is the guys who wash out at 1 and 2 and they take home $20. They're like, well, I'd like all those 20s to go up to the winner.
Well, and I also think that the loudest voices are always the ones that like are already winning all the money anyways.
yeah.
You know what I mean? So like, it's the quiet guy. It's like the middle of the road pros.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? That
And
like,
that's why the pro committee has a little voice of a lot of different people on it.
Yeah.
Different players from different backgrounds, different areas of the country, different socioeconomic backgrounds, ages. It's all there. I mean, I thought it's a good program. I'm glad the ACL adopted it. I'm glad they pushed through when everybody tried to poop on it the first year of it. They're like, oh, these people weren't voted, whatever. I'm like, they went with some people who had some experience.
yeah, and they did their homework. You know what I mean? Like,
And then they
didn't-
steered it each year.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm going to give Stacey all the credit in the world. They can give him people. They shit on that guy all the time. I'm just going to go straight out. He listens and he adapts. Like, and not everything's going to be perfect because he's moving so quickly to have this stuff turn into it, right? Him
100%.
and his staff, right? That goes for everybody on his staff, Trey, all of them, right?
Correct.
They're moving quickly, but they listen, right? They're constantly taking in that information, particularly if it's positive and or productive. Something like you say, hey, this isn't working, but you might want to try this. Well,
Yeah.
that's a much better entry point for somebody who's put a lot of time and effort into trying something, right? They're like, okay, well, I can take that information and I can actually maybe do something with it. And so I think that's what we saw with teams is every single year teams gets a little bit more improved.
Mhm.
So maybe we're there.
You know, I'm not gonna just like put that down for teams though, because I'm not done with it. Because guess what? The ACL, what is their excuse for not following it more though? That's the only thing I need. We've been preaching about this for 2 years now. You're talking about how the pros don't even know the standings.
Yeah.
There's not that much action that goes on in cornhole for the amount of people that cover it over there. Why are they not covering it? They make such a big deal about the draft.
That's what I'm
Does
saying.
anybody know who's on each other's team right now? No, we don't have, like we were saying, the
I
rosters and
would-
shit. Like, I'm going to call the ACL out right now on that shit.
I've been doing
Get
it
your
for
shit
months.
together on teams, because otherwise, like, I don't care anymore. Like, if I can't follow it, to me, it's not even a part of the pro development anything. It's
I'm with you.
trash.
I'd rather see one less person on the team doing, TikTok dances and stuff like that, and somebody who's there to be the commissioner of teams or the teams, whatever. His job is to just do teams.
And
Yes.
it doesn't have to be fancy. You need to have a link to the rosters, and you need to keep the standings updated.
It can be a fucking spreadsheet. Who
Yeah,
gives
that's what
a
I'm
shit?
saying.
Like, it doesn't
just
have
give
to
us
be
the info.
anything. Yeah, it doesn't
Yeah,
matter.
but it would be nice if that same person was maybe on site to all 6 events. He was there those days. Maybe
Yeah.
wrote a blog article once every 6. Look like what happened.
I think you do blog article. I think there's an easy opportunity to go get like right after the match, like short little interviews for videos. Like I think there's just missed opportunities like for content out there.
Yeah, I mean, like, why if you've got that content team that's taking all the great shots, why isn't it Teams Tuesday and they drop the teams update every Tuesday, right? So Monday's
Yeah.
the results of the tournament and Tuesdays the teams results get posted.
Yeah.
And it's Tuesday teams for all season.
And I'm not saying that I think the ACL should abandon like the fun videos. Like I think there's a time and a place for like global marketing, 100%.
Absolutely.
But at the same time, you can't abandon like you guys are trying to be the face of like the professional side of this. It looks like Mickey Mouse shit sometimes because now, I would say your broadcasts are great. Like the live streams they're entertaining as much as you can make cornhole entertaining.
Yes.
They're very good. Like they've gotten very good at live streams. But then when it comes
good too, right?
they
put a
do.
lot of time
They
and effort into
100%.
this
I
game.
give tons of kudos to those teams. Like they do a great job. I think the commentary is great. I think the videos are awesome. Like the clips you can get for it, it's great. It's perfect. But then they fail at like actually covering this stuff and making it seem like a real sport, especially when it comes to teams.
Yeah.
You're making this effort of changing the format. We like it. We're all giving you thumbs up. I'm giving you fucking kudos. I think the draft was cool. I love the process of the draft. I love the fact that you're changing the format. All we're asking for is give us some fucking access. Make it easier for us as fans, not as a podcast, but as fans of the game that we want to help grow it and we want to watch and invest our time in it. Make it easier for us to find the shit.
Stop edging us and finish us off already.
Finally.
All right? For the love of God.
Don't
you're
or don't
right.
waste our time with the fucking draft and don't put all the time with all that shit. Like because you guys don't care after that. It doesn't matter. It doesn't
100%.
fucking matter anymore.
Yeah.
Well, it's interesting. They put a lot of time and effort into all the editorial, right? So it's like ESPN, right? They got the draft date stuff.
Yeah.
They've got the guys talking on the talking heads from around the ACL. Like
Yep.
that stuff's kind of easy to do, but nobody's doing the bread and butter piece, which is updating the standings and making sure everybody knows who the number one player in teams is, right? Because it's a different format. It's round limited in a lot of cases.
100%.
So, it's a different style of cornhole. Like.
And they keep the stats updated, like for during the season. Like once it's after the first national
for singles and doubles, but not for teams. Right?
Correct, exactly. So how much more work would that be for one?
Right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
We have a guy like an independent guy that created a website where he just takes all the stuff and has all the information in like a day. It's like if you got maybe you should talk to him. Like I don't know, like maybe he knows some stuff. So this completely.
Listen, I agree. 100%. I think that's the next step for teams to really work, right? And also perhaps for the average fans to care, right? You guys care because you have a podcast. I care because I used to be a pro.
Yeah.
But what about like the guys that play at the Moose Lodge? What do they care, right?
Exactly.
The thing is, like, I just want to rep something that says Ohio Aviators because it says Ohio on it.
Yeah.
Like that's to me, like that's the team I want to back.
100%.
Give me information. Like I just want info.
Correct.
We don't have much in Cleveland. We don't get many championship opportunities. All right, so
This could be it.
this could be it.
Well, you would think, right? Like, I mean, obviously, like I made some pitches to some people, right? Because I do a lot of web stuff for Ultra and a lot of things with the Cornhole Network and stuff. So I made some pitches to the team captains, right? Because they're supposed to get a cut of merch sales and stuff. And I'm like, do you want somebody to run your social media for you? Because by the time the season starts, the last thing the captain of the California Slingers, I don't even know who that is, the last thing they want to do is be updating what's going on with their team on Facebook.
Yeah.
Right. So they need like the manager role for that needs to have experience in that. That's what they need from a manager because the manager isn't going to be managing the roster.
Yeah.
They need somebody with a background in marketing, social media, something to be able to say this is their job. And there should be a paid position or cut in off the team's winnings, but especially how do they lay that out, right? Because they'll theoretically all make more money because if you go to that site, like you said, you want Ohio Aviators, so you go to Ohio Aviators on Tuesday, you look at the thing, and then you buy a hat. Well, they're getting a piece of that, right?
You just look at it as like a project manager. That's all you are. Really, I mean, it's a part-time project manager. It's not a full-time thing. You know what I mean? You don't need something like that. But
I mean, the Cleveland Indians have people that do that. They're
100%.
not. They don't run the team. They're not involved in the game.
Of course. Yeah. Easy. All right. So we have some listener questions. One of our favorite human beings, Daniel Lambert, said, I like hearing Eric talk about his non-cornhole work with toy companies.
Oh, so he likes all my toy industry experience. Huh?
Yeah. So what experience, like who did you work with?
So when I left, I went to school at the University of Cincinnati when I was in Ohio. And then I ended up working for Mattel and designed Hot Wheels cars for 5-6 years. I was there
awesome.
I was an intern in 98 and I left in 04. So
Is that like
there's a whole generation of kids playing with acceleracers that I created.
Is that like a dream job? Like
it was definitely a dream job.
Engineer by trade then, or
industrial designer. So
okay.
the guy that you would see on TV is like Chip Foose. Like I drew the car, and then I would
Yeah.
control art and kind of work with an engineer to make it happen.
Hell yeah.
But the best thing about I wanted to go to school to be a car designer. I thought I was going to end up in Detroit designing cars.
Okay.
But then I'm designing these little ones, and the best part of the little ones is you don't even have to worry about like how big the actual engine is.
Yeah.
It's so true.
Physics are out the window. You can just make it look as cool as possible.
All right. So what was the favorite car? What was the all-time favorite car that you designed?
Well, I named I kind of riffed off the name of the Rockster and named my son after that. So his name is Roxton, Roxton, and the original car was supposed to be spelled Roxter, like Rockster.
Yeah.
They spelled it with a CK, but when it went through whatever, CP, the lawyers
Goddamn
did it.
corporate America just ruining cool shit once again.
But Daniel's probably also interested. So in between Hot Wheels, I worked at Upper Deck.
Oh, nice.
And I worked on sports memorabilia and action figures, bobbleheads, and things like that.
So were you doing those sweet like Upper Deck like swingmen poses and stuff like
The All-Star
like that?
vinyl stuff that we did, all that, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, we did all that, and then we did like the breaking through stuff where you'd buy like a picture of like LeBron dunking, and the basketball was signed and it would stick out of the frame. So they'd like have a half a basketball stuck to it.
That's sick.
Cool. Man cave stuff. It was awesome.
Oh,
Then I left and did.
my
My last job in toys was at Spin Master, where I helped create Paw Patrol. So you guys have little kids.
I
so
do.
Oh yeah.
You have my cars and you're there. If you have Chase's truck and all that. Like I was the design director for the creation of Paw Patrol at Spin Master when we created the show.
I have every probably Paw Patrol toy ever made in my house. Like my
Big
son is.
Semi was my idea.
Yes.
I could give them a Paw Patroller because it was
Thanks.
straight 80s for them to have an awesome truck after they had they're like, what are we going to do after season 1? And
Yeah.
I'm like, let's take the tower, put it on its side and go on the road.
Yeah, why not? It's great.
Might as well.
Yeah. Why not? And why not make it two separate toys? Why wouldn't we?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Right?
Might as well.
Like they all need their own vehicles too.
Let's make all the pieces really small so when I step on them it's
Oh god.
just as bad as a
Yeah,
Lego.
and they all fire something, or they all have like little sharp hooks or something on it. So it's great.
It's that bad because then we gave them an airplane, so they all got flight suits, and then we sent them to the jungle, and they all got jungle stuff.
Mhm. I know. And then they turn
I
into
grew up on all
dinosaurs.
that
They
stuff,
eventually
so I
turn into
completely-
dinosaurs too. That's fun. Like yeah,
The new Paw Patrol movie is dinosaurs.
it's great. Awesome.
Shouldn't they change their name to Claw Control?
Ooh,
Right?
wow.
Just
Damn.
saying.
Just like that.
Throwing it out there.
One more listener question. He said, been on this one for a while. With two different leagues having, in quotes, pro field, is there a true way to determine the best of the best? Is it a top 5 out of 5 to 10 best cornhole players? Or I guess he's asking the top 5/10 best cornhole players at this present time. No other major sport has two professional status leagues. One's got to be the minor leagues in cornhole, right? I mean, I don't want to make this like an ACL thing. I think it's widely accepted that the majority of like the top players in the world right now play in the ACL. On any given day, anyone can play, anyone can win, right? Isn't that the ACL model? At
That is
least
the motto.
I know that the young Hurt brother is a motherfucker right now. Could he hang in the ACL? Of course he could. I'm sure he would do just fine. Is he going to come over and dominate? We haven't really seen anyone straight dominate yet.
Yeah.
Right. We've seen guys come and get really hot for short stretches, but there hasn't been like that dominant run.
It's true.
I
The
mean,
closest thing we saw to a dominant player coming from the ACL over was when Matt Brett came over, but that was the early days of the ACL.
Yeah.
And
I
he
mean,
performed pretty well. Like he instantly was in the MVP race. He was
Correct.
instantly at the top.
I mean, you have Jeremiah last year coming over, winning the first two, but like this is cooled down a little bit.
But then we have guys that leave, right? Like my understanding is like Nate Stevens is playing really well in the ACL, right?
Yep.
Like Nate's a good friend of mine. I love Nate, good player. He's playing ACL because it's closer to home.
Yeah, for
right?
sure.
He walked away from the ACL just mostly because of time commitment.
Yeah,
And
like Josh Holland. I'm sure there's among others that we're all missing.
Yeah.
So it's like,
and we'll probably see more of it next year when
Correct.
guys, especially with this changeover, right? Guys are going to go chase wherever they can go get paid. So.
correct.
Yep.
I think there's going to be an influx of talent that you're going to see big time with the ACO. So I think that right now, I think the answer would be top 5, 10, probably top 5 and top 10 easily ACL players. But like at any given day,
I mean, if
anything
you're
can
looking to
happen.
get paid, the ACL has more money
Correct.
for the top players, right?
Yes.
And they have the prestige of TV, which is going to turn into better sponsorship dollars long term.
Theoretically, yes. Yeah.
The potential money is probably higher in the ACL the way it's currently set up. But, if cornhole pops off, I wouldn't see how the ACL wouldn't get a TV show real quick.
Well, you got to think, though, too, like starting next year, there's only 100 of them. 100 people that are pros. You know what I mean? Like, you're going to have like junior pros and you'll have like that. But like, there's only like pros, there's 100. The ACO, like, I don't think there's a limit, right? Like, as long as you play in that division, you earn enough points or something, whatever. Like,
you're a guy like me who doesn't sign an elite contract, you can play in the ACL and the ACO.
Yeah, correct.
Very true.
I think we're going to see a lot of that next year.
A lot of double dipping.
So, so I had one random question to kind of close it out. You're a golfer, so I like this. Okay. This is kind of perfect. You're going to rank these tee times, all right, 1 through 5, but I'm only going to give you one at a time. So you got to tell me where it's going to go in your rankings. Okay. 7:30 a.m.
I'm putting that number 2.
Number 2. Okay.
Yeah, it's going high up.
Okay. Why? You just a morning golf guy?
Yeah, I love morning golf.
I agree.
I mean, I'm just going to make it number 1.
Okay, you're playing
I get up at 5 a.m. anyway.
So that's my question. Is there going to be an earlier
one?
Well,
I can't tell you yet. You just have to decide early. That's how this game works.
No, I like it, though, because I don't want to tee off earlier than that, right? 7 o'clock and 7:30, that's a kind of sweet spot.
Nay, sir. I don't want anyone, like, shit in the bed in front of me. I'll take that first tee time and get off and get out, get home well before noon and have the rest of my day. I love it.
That's fair.
Right. What about 11:20?
I'll put that at number 3.
Okay.
Because that's a party time.
Number 5 for me.
Number 5. Okay. Interesting. Why?
It's right smack dab in the middle of the day, so it's going to take up. Like, I'm going to have to drive to the course, get ready. Like, it's just going to take up the entirety of the day.
Correct.
But if I'm going at that time, it's with purpose.
Like, your wife gets to be mad at you when you leave, and she's still going to be awake when you get home and be mad at you. And
when I get home at like 8 o'clock at night,
it's
fucking hammered. Like, it's not going to be.
But
good.
I'm telling you that, like, if I have that tea time, it's with intention. All right, like that's my plan for like.
Fair enough.
That's a good tea time if you're on like a vacation golfing.
Yeah, correct. Yeah. If you're just trying to kill time and you can sleep in a little bit, you have a nice
vacation.
breakfast.
That's a good tea time.
Oh yeah. All right. So the next one is 2:25.
Ooh, I'm thinking that's like a weekday sneak out of work. I'll put that at number 4.
Number 4.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's probably about the right spot. Like, I like it better than 11:30.
Okay. Yeah, because you're just committing. Like, the rest of my day is done.
Yeah.
I mean, 11. Like, there's hope that you might still get home in time.
You can kind of work the morning if you had to, right?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. All right. 9:08 a.m.
I mean, I'm gonna have to put that at number 1, apparently.
Okay. Is that too late for you normally?
Yeah, I mean, I would definitely take 7:30 over 9:08.
Okay.
But I don't know what the last one's going to be.
Okay.
So
I feel like he's just changing it as it goes.
I'm not. I have them all written down. You can check this afterwards.
Sure he does.
In my order.
I'm going to put that one at 3 myself just because I feel like the course can be full of slow old people in front of me.
Correct. Last one is 5:00 p.m.
Yeah, I mean, that to me is just an evening 9. Like,
yeah.
Which I do like after work sometimes, but put that at, that's going to be my last one.
Fair enough. Yeah.
I like that. Like, it kind of worked out for me because I like that after work 9 and I miss that, right? So Southern California, the sun sets a little earlier. Like, the after work 9 doesn't exist.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah, we have late sun here.
We just get it now. Just
but it's just so good. I used to play. I'd play my dad's like golf league with the the Bell system.
Oh,
and
yeah.
we'd be out playing at Grantwood and Solon till like 9:30.
Yeah, so you can get away with like it's late in summer. You can get away with 9:00 here, like easily.
For sure.
Like you can still.
Yeah, I've gone out at 7 p.m. and ripped it through 9.
If you hit the ball straight, you knew it went straight. You just go
search
for it.
And it's just you got to pick the right course because some courses you get there and they get all shitty with you. It's like I'm paying you money to go on the course. Like God forbid, like it's like you had enough months off. Like you
don't need to keep anyone here besides the one guy that I need to give the car key to.
Yeah, correct.
Everyone else can go home. Yeah. I'm not gonna bother anybody.
Yeah, correct. I'm trying to get out. I'm trying to get out through as fast as I can. And I love a good challenge too when they come up to like, well, you should just pay for 9. I'm like, well, I'll pay for 18.
Yeah.
And they're like, well, you're only getting through 9. I'm like, is that challenge? Like,
I'll get through.
You only have 2 hours. Like, I like that challenge. I'll go. I want to pay.
High school golf in Ohio was 9-hole, most of it, right? It's after school 9-hole.
Yeah.
So that kind of worked to me too. Like either I want to get started first thing in the morning or I want to play in the afternoon.
I never ever wanted to play 9 holes ever, but I'm trying to think if like there was ever a time that I purposely went out and played 9 holes until this past year. There were 1 or 2 days where I was pretty slow at work, snuck out in the morning after like my first patient, played a quick 9, and I fell in love with playing a solo 9 holes, like by myself, just going to work on shit. You know what I mean? Not talking to anybody, just going out there, enjoying the weather. And it was great. And I could get done in like an hour and 15 minutes, hour and 20 minutes. No one's slowing me up. It's great. But I was always like, oh, 9 holes, not enough.
Yeah.
But if I know going in like 9's all you're doing, I'm like, all right, I'm good. So
I'm no longer, every time I play 9 now, I walk.
oh, that's a good idea.
No longer riding for 9 holes. Unless I guess if I do like a time crunch one, I'll have ride. But yeah, it's like my new rule. Like after work, 9s are just going to be a walk in the park, literally. So
There you go.
I play better when I walk than when I ride.
Yeah, honestly, I don't mind walking. I've done it before.
I feel like you stay loose
Yeah,
a
honestly,
little
like
bit. You know what I mean? I don't know.
there's something about like walking the yardage that almost makes you feel more in tune with it too. Like once you step up to a shot, like later on, like after that 3rd, 4th hole, you just like you almost can see that 50 yards easier than
you're slightly
you're
more
thinking.
focused on your own shot too, because there's a certain point when you Y off of everybody and you're like, I'm going to my ball and you're going to yours. So you're just really focused on your shot, right? So you're prepared when you get up there.
And usually with the cart, I have the music going and like, a little distraction there. But sometimes the distractions work too. Like,
They do.
A drink more in a cart too.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
yeah. Correct. Yes. Correct.
But
My
I need
bag
to
would
make
be a
my
little heavier.
bag lighter. So maybe I'll drink faster when I'm carrying.
Very, very true. Eric, it's always a pleasure, sir.
Thank you guys. Have a good one.
Always,
You
it's
too,
been a
man.
long time coming. So yeah, we'll let the folks go at home. Hope you guys enjoy the episode. We'll be back next week with a fun episode. We'll be recording it live from the Castle Bar in Orlando, Florida. I apologize now for the state of the end of the episode. It's going to be like a TCL episode where we start off really good and then we're just going to keep recording as the day goes on.
Fade down
it's
the
going to
stretch, but it'll
very
be fun.
entertaining. I promise you guys. Hope you guys have a beautiful day. And as always, we hope you throw it straight. That's nothing but 4 baggers from here on out.
Cornhole it.
Later.